Take the stage.
Oh, okay. So it's not. Oh yeah, it is unbiased.
This is totally unbiased.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it should be unbiased. So it's important to note that Glock is a brand of pistol. They make a couple different models, or generally the same, but really what makes it distinguished is that it's a striker fire polymer pistol. The 1911 is a style of pistols. This is a Kimber 1911. So it is a little odd in the argument between Glock and 1911 that you're comparing a brand against an entire style of pistol. The style of pistol being specific design that's made over many brands, as opposed to a brand that makes many different styles of pistol. Seems like a weird argument to me, but it's been going on for a long time. So I got a Glock 17 here. We have a Kimber Ultra Carry 2. One of the major differences is that the entire bottom slide of the Glock is gonna be made of polymer, making it extremely light. It's a very durable plastic. Now the 1911 here is gonna be made out of steel. This particular model here is made out of aluminum. This one here is made out of polymer, which is gonna make it considerably lighter. Another thing that separates these two pistols is the firing mechanism. So this one has a hammer fire system here, where the hammer hits the firing pin, and this one has a striker fire system that looks a lot like a pinball machine. So it has a striker fire that goes on the inside, and you won't notice a hammer. Some of the other things that different these pistols from each other is how many buttons this thing has as opposed to this one. So it's a much simpler system. So we have the slide catch and slide release right here. So there's that little button right there. Then we have our magazine release. So that just releases the magazine to come out. This is the takedown mechanism. So you don't need that for the firing process in any way. And that's it. That's all that's on there. Very simple to use. So this one here, we have our slide release right here. Oh, that's not, wait, is that? There we go, we got our slide release and catch right there. Good to ever push down on that in 1911 because they're sensitive. Oh, unloaded. Apparently that's bad for it, unloaded. The other mechanism that's gonna be on this guy right here is this thumb safety. There's been quite a few cases where people have pulled this firearm into defensive use and forgot to take it off safety and ended up paying the price for that.
Can you give us specific examples of when that was?
Yeah, Dale Umark in the year 17, nope.
You're saying 17. You know the first two numbers in 19, right? 1911. It was made in 1911, the year 1911, not 18, not 17.
Yeah. Right.
So are you just making this up, or?
No, it's a real thing. I mean, to make me cite for, okay, we'll put that in the video later.
Okay.
Sure. I could find situations where it's happened.
I could also find situations where
somebody forgot to take the safety off of a Glock.
No, where Glocks have exploded in people's hands and tore it apart.
That happens with 1911s too.
It happened more with Glocks. It was a meme at one point, Cal. People, it was that common that people were memeing on it.
Like Generation 1? This is a modern firearm, bro. Okay, so
the Generation 1 Glock was not a modern firearm when it was made.
Can you let me get through he wanted the... All right, here we go. The only problem is the more mechanisms you have, the more potential problems you have of something going wrong.
This is totally unbiased.
Yeah. Okay.
But the 1911 has had a very, very rich history, seeing heavy use in World War II, killing many, many people. Is that better?
So, yeah, so is the Glock. Have you been to Compton? That may have come out a little worse than I expected it to.
No, that came out horrendous.
Okay. The Glock is a very simple, light, and reliable firearm that is very effective as a combat firearm.
The 1911 is a very simple, effective, hardy, made of steel firearm, or in this case, aluminum. It's made of metal.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
so if you drop it out of an airplane,
the worst thing about Glocks?
You gotta think about it.
Shit.
They explode in your hands.
They don't.
Haven't had that issue yet.
Yet.
The trigger's not great. Okay, so
what was that?
I'll say the worst thing about the Glock is that the trigger is not particularly fantastic. It's pretty mushy with a heavy pull. So to engage the trigger, right? So there's this take up here, and then here's the initiation, but it's about 6 pounds or so. And you can kind of see that how it, the take up is here, and then you can see that mush as it presses and then engages.
5.5.
Okay. So that's a 5.5 pound trigger. So this is a very, my point exactly.
You don't know how to use it. That's why.
You don't know how to. You don't know how to. You don't
train.
Okay.
No, it's his turn to do it.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, so I was comparing the triggers. So this one has a better trigger. So this is you just increase the pressure. There's this tiny little take up there. Increase the pressure, and then a crisp break. Probably about 4 pounds for this one. Oh, I have a pro for the 1911. Okay. I like the single stack magazine in the 1911. It makes the grip size very good proportionally to my hand.
You can also beat someone to death with it easier. Because it's metal.
How is that relevant to firearms?
I'm just saying.
So again,
All right, let's stop arguing about which one's best and start shooting some stuff.
Hey guys, so I'm 5 yards away from the target right now. I'm gonna take this Glock 17 and I'm gonna go ahead and do well-aimed shots. And then after that, I'm gonna unload a magazine center mass, just kind of show that recoil management, that engagement on target, the simplicity of the use. So I'm using 115 grain CCI 9mm ball ammunition.
What was that?
Warm up.
Oh, the 1911 has so many failures on it.
Unload and make ready.
Kind of deserved that. All right, go.
All right. All right, so that's it. That's simple. Decent group up here. Probably could have tightened that up. Every round on target. This is not my firearm, but there you go. Pretty simple to use. Well done. There it is. Let's see what Tiki does. All right, so here we go. This is the owner of the 1911 that we're using right now, and he's going to do the same test, or close to it. He only has 7 round capacity here, but so he's going to do a magazine in the headshots and a magazine of rapid fire.
Everyone good?
Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right. Try that again. Ready?
I'm not going to miss on purpose.
You're gonna
you
miss
prefer
on purpose.
10 rounds over 7.
Whoa,
Yeah, me too.
45 caliber
Actually,
recoil.
I have a 19.
Okay, so to be completely objective, we're going to do the same test with the same shooter, me. This is actually a pretty good test because neither of these firearms actually belong to me. So you're going to see how I interface with a firearm that I'm not 100% familiar with. I have shot 1911s before. I'm not going to interface the safety because I'm left-handed. I would not actually purchase this particular 1911 if I were to buy one. I would definitely get one with an ambidextrous or left-handed safety for my particular use. But so let's see what happens. Oh, hey, the gun went down. I had nothing to do with it. You know, it's kind of funny that reliability thing actually times comes into play. All right, let's see what happens. All right. gunfight. Okay, here we go. And okay. So that's as hard as I can run that gun. So the headshots are really good. That trigger definitely assisted me in getting that accuracy with that trigger. The recoil management is a little harder. It's a little heavier. I think that shorter barrel makes a difference. That it's a little snappier. Driving that gun back on target's a little bit of work. You can see a little bit of a dip there. But that was as fast as I could pull that trigger. Yeah, that's not biased at all.
All right, so in conclusion, we shot the Glock, we shot the 1911. The Glock ran pretty smooth, pretty easy to get follow-on shots, ran a little faster. It's a lighter firearm. The 1911 had a little bit more muzzle whip, took a little bit more muscle to hold on to it. Tried driving it as hard as I could, see what happened. We had a malfunction with the Kimber, and that's a big deal to me. I definitely don't want to malfunction when I need the gun. I will note that these are not Kimber magazines, although the malfunction was a failure to feed. So, yep, it might have been the magazines. So these are not Kimber magazines. That might have contributed to the malfunction, but there's no excuses in a gunfight. I wish I could get a shirt that just says polymer striker fighter pistol, because I'm not like a Glock fanboy. I don't even own a Glock, but I am a big fan of the polymer striker fighter platform.
I'm not a fan of Glock, but let me shill Glock every single video.
You have to get paid to be a shill.
Okay, let me push Glock every single video. Is that better?
Yeah. I mean, when you compare, yeah, sure.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a reason why the very, very large majority of firearms instructors carry Glocks as carry firearms. It's not because they're fanboys, it's because they've shot many pistols, and they have come to the conclusion that the Glock is reliable and good for combat use. Right. And I mean, I'm not going to say that the 1911 can't beat the Glock. The 1911 can beat the Glock in many different types of competitions.
You're literally proving like you're shilling.
All right, all right. Yeah, I shouldn't be pontificating. So these pistols are fantastic and wonderful in their own right. This one was about $600. This one's about $1,000. This one had a malfunction.